What's going on, everybody, and welcome into another edition of On the Record presented by CalledIt. I'm Danny Burke, your host, and we are thrilled to be here with you for the next half hour or so. As per usual, we put it on the line and make our statements known here on the record. With all the World Cup action, we've got a big one, Scotland and Brazil, which is where the daily call will be centered around, and our challenge, The Run, where we look to turn $250 all the way into $1 million. Starting back at trade number one. We didn't even get past trade number one yesterday, but hey, this is why we call it On the Record. We put our statements there, we put our opinions and our thoughts, and then you can boast about it, you can brag about it, because Dane and myself yesterday, we actually went against the daily call, which was for England and Croatia in that, or Ghana, pardon me, in that match to get over 1.5 goals in the first half. They got none the entire game. I guess that Ghanaian curse was in fact real that was directed toward Harry Kane, but apparently now it's been lifted. If you've been on social media, that witch doctor lifted the curse, so maybe we'll get better play out of Harry Kane going forward. But either way, a brand new run will be started today in that match between Scotland and Brazil. We also have some other topics we'll dissect when it comes to who is going to advance out of the group stage. Canada and the Swiss, they have a very crucial game today to determine those standings throughout Group B. And then for our trending topics, we'd be remiss if we were going to talk about Scotland a little bit more and how that infusion into the Boston culture has been and what it may be going forward for American sports going back in their direction. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We have the perfect people to do it with, as we have Adam Kaufman, our resident Boston guy right here, repping the CalledIt shirt, and of course, repping the East Coast, Boston, Massachusetts. Adam, how are we doing, brother?
Good. It's funny listening to you talk about England, Ghana, and obviously that one was unfortunate for me and my wallet because I really thought we were going to get a pretty good showing out of England. But as one of the World Cup announcers said during the broadcast, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically not the first time things have gone south for England in the state of Massachusetts. So, look, not great for Kane, not great for the English, but we'll see what ends up happening. Of course, my text thread as I complain to everybody about lost wagers. It was, what you gonna do about it, right? That's what the people are having fun with the puns right now. We got a monster slate today, man. We got a half dozen matches.
Oh, we do, and I can't wait. And look, we already got Adam in full dad joke mode, so it's going to be a good day with that. I love it. I love it. Steph, I know you're also excited today because you have been an adopted Scotland fan, so certainly curious to hear your thoughts on the game. But there you go. So you're waving it with pride. How we feeling today?
Me too. The Scots have been in Nashville also. So not only have I recently been to Scotland, they've invaded Nashville, and we saw them on Broadway. No Scotland, no party. We knew all the chants. I had so much fun talking with them. So, yes, I'd love to see, my favorite country, my second favorite country, do well. I feel invested, but I hope it can go well for them tonight.
Go. A lot on the line, and we know at least fandom perspective where Steph is going to be rooting for, but objectively, where will she be rooting? Of course, that is where we have our interest, and that is where the daily call is residing for Scotland and Brazil. If you see on the screen right now, 75% chance does Brazil have to win this game against Scotland. The draw is at 18%, plus 425 American odds. Scotland trading at 9%, also at American odds, higher of plus 840. If you look to the right, you can see Brazil to win by more than 1.5 goals. Ladies and gentlemen, that is where the daily call from the team at CalledIt is residing around, and they believe, yes, Brazil will win by more than 1.5 goals in this game. They got the number at 49%. Currently, it is trading at 52% or minus 117 American odds. Now, this has been ticking up because, there's still value here because CalledIt believes. Now, you can get a hold of this information in the better number earlier. Like we always say, we implore you to subscribe to www.calledit.media. Sign up for free. It's just your email, nothing more. That's all you got to do. And you get a hold of the newsletter, and you can get this information early so you can get the better of the price. Although, again, CalledIt believes the true chances are still at 53%, so a tad bit of value still to be had. But when they dished it out, it was at 49%. So it's been ticking up and ticking up. That's the value of signing up. that, and you can voice your opinion to see how you stack up against everybody. And we're certainly curious what Adam and Stephanie have to say about Scotland and Brazil. But we know that Called It likes Brazil to win by more than 1.5 goals, which is ruffling some feathers from the powers that be, considering we have some we have some Homeland Scotland fans, part of the Called It media crew. But Adam, let's kick it to you first, my man. When you look at this 1.5 for Brazil, minus 117 American odds. We see it moving in that direction. Do you agree with the movement and the daily call?
Well, I'm not just rocking a Called It t-shirt. I am playing the role of company man today. I do. I like Brazil to win this thing by at least a couple of goals, and what is probably going to be a lower scoring match as well. In fact, if it's 2-0, that wouldn't surprise me in the least with Brazil winning this thing. There are multiple things at play here, Danny. For starters, Scotland, I know we should only reflect so much upon history, but in 9 World Cup appearances, we have never seen the Scots get out of group play. Now, granted, they're on the cusp, like you said, chasing a point, an opportunity to get out as a third-place team. But for Brazil, who is well-positioned with 4 points already, throttling Haiti 3-0, the draw with Morocco, an opportunity here to win the match, win the group, going to be focused on goal differential as well. So there's going to be extra incentive to pile up some shots on net. It's already an aggressive attack. The Scots, a very solid defense, so might just be kind of playing for a 0-0, 1-1, something lower scoring and just competitive and prevent, if you will. But I think for Brazil, you're going to see some early attack. We saw that with a trio of goals early against Haiti and then coasting from there. Plus, with Morocco taking on Haiti, who's at the bottom of the group today, it's just much more important for Brazil to come away with the 3 points today. So I would expect a rather lopsided performance ultimately in Brazil, covering that 1.5.
Well, we know Stephanie doesn't love to hear that as a Scotland diehard fan, but from a trading perspective, Steph, how are we approaching it?
I'm so nervous. This is gonna go exactly how it was with me and Adam last time, where I wanted to say like that I went on his side just because of the stats, but my heart is not letting me go against Scotland. Everything like on my brain says it's gonna be them by like 2. I wouldn't say too much because to your point, I don't think it's gonna be too high scoring. I think the weather is gonna be actually a big factor here. It's gonna be 85 degrees. We know Brazil has the advantage there over Scotland. I mean, when I was there, they told me it never gets over like 67 degrees. That you're going to decline over time. And so I don't think that like they're incentivized to get more here because they want to be able to pound up more points on Scotland. So I feel like that would give them some extra motivation. But Scotland, all they have to worry about is not allowing too much, and they have a pretty good disciplined defense under Steve Clark. They have not allowed more than 1 goal in any match, and that's when they're deploying a 5-man defensive backline. They're going to put all of the resources into their defense in this one. And I think the key point is to getting quick out of the gate, to Adam's point. That's my concern, is if they are able to put it up quickly, because they're going to get gassed out, especially with the temperature. We've seen that really become strong for teams when they have that advantage. So I think basically they're going to put everything they can into defense. So my heart is leaning into it. They've proven that they can be more disciplined. I think Brazil has more than they can handle. But my heart, and maybe just for the sake so that we can have a balanced show, is going to go with Scotland. But I think it's going to be similar to what happened to me last time. I did that same exact thing where I said everything in my head, everything I've studied says go with Brazil. But I think because they don't have to worry about scoring too much. All they have to worry about is not allowing it to get too far ahead. So if they only have to really worry about prevention, then
the Scots are going to drink you under the table, but they're not going to challenge you to a marathon.
Yeah.
They just got to do what they need to do to get by. Now, you bring up a good point, Stephanie. And Adam, you kind of alluded to this too. I mean, if Scotland's going to, so-called park the bus and just really stack up on defense, would you guys almost feel more confident in betting the total under 2.5 goals? So the no is trading at plus 105, 54%. Would you rather do that than Brazil covering the number here?
I'm just not going to be surprised. I won't be shocked if we see 2-1. You know what I mean? So like, I think if you're obviously trading is one area, if you're, wagering in a different way, you can, alt some things and, put a parlay together, if you will. But when I'm looking at this thing, I think ultimately I get it. Like we could see 1-0 Brazil wins, a rather, lackluster game in terms of overall fan entertainment. But I still feel like 2-0 seems like the score. Like if I were wagering on exact outcome, I would probably be looking at 2-0. But I would lean that way ultimately versus the under, even though, again, same thing. It's just if we get 2-1, I'm not going to be shocked.
I think maybe I could, because they also are playing with Ryan, who's pretty unexperienced. He's on the younger side. He's replacing Rafina, who has that injury, the Haiti match. And sorry, my dog might be.
Dog's got opinions on this too. Come on.
Big fan, big Scotland fan.
We are definitely in this house, but Brazil's, while they do have a lot of possession, they had 64%, but managed only 3 shots on target. I think, yeah, if they have possession a lot of the time, which maybe we could be seeing that if Scotland's going all in on defense, they're not really optimizing it when they have possession. So maybe I do like the under. I think I like that play better than Brazil beating them by more than half. So maybe I do lean on the under.
Don't forget, Danny, we're expected to see Neymar today for the first time, too.
There we go. Yeah, just another added incentive to potentially look into this Brazilian side, which, again, is what the conviction is on for the daily call from the team at CalledIt, believing that Brazil is going to win by more than 1.5 goals. Stephanie's dog thinks otherwise. Stephanie also thinks otherwise. So you guys can voice your opinions at CalledIt.media. I am going to be siding. Now, Adam, I know we joke. I've been on the side, been the company man here, siding with the team. Yesterday, I went against them. Today, I am going back to the well, and I am going to side with them, believing that Brazil is going to win this game by more than 1.5 goals. As fun as this storyline is for Scotland, and the fans are just pure electricity out there, I just think talent-wise, Brazil is going to have what it takes, and they're really going to punish them here. So I agree with the trade. Again, at 49%, that is part of the run. Looking to turn $250 all the way into $1 million. CalledIt is trading the yes for Brazil to win by more than 1.5 goals at 49%. Currently, it's trading at 52%. The true chances CalledIt has labeled it as is 53%. Great game in store, nonetheless. 6 p.m. Eastern Time at Hard Rock Stadium down in South Beach in Miami, Florida. All right, Adam, Stephanie, let's mosey on over to a different match here and just a little bit of a different perspective of a discussion, because earlier, before the World Cup started, a lot of the topic of conversation revolved around a trade, whether it was, will all 3 host nations make it through? And it's looking like that's going to be the case with the United States, with Mexico, with Canada. Canada's got a very interesting game today, though, guys. 3 p.m. Eastern Time against Swiss in Vancouver. Now, again, they can get through their group with a win or draw, so you got to keep that in mind. How much are they really looking to punish today? Switzerland, you got to think, I mean, they're still going to be going full throttle to get at the top of the group there, but goal differential-wise, Canada's at 6, Swiss is at 3 there, and you have a win for Canada, a draw for Canada. Swiss is in the same boat. Bosnia and Qatar, they're out of the mix there, really. And you look at this number, 40% is what Swiss is trading at, 32% for the draw, or plus 198. Canada at 30%. Adam, I know you had a little bit of interest in this game from a, I don't want to call it a unique angle, but I guess a little bit of a unique angle for us Americans who aren't betting as much soccer. So please tell us how you're looking to handicap this one.
Yeah, my gut says draw, and I was looking up, as I like to have my opinion, then seek out some confirmation bias. So I'll Google around, I'll look for some various articles. And honestly, there are a lot of people back in Canada. There are a lot of people back in the Swiss. And to me, when you've got enough on both sides, to me, that says, don't be surprised if it falls right down the middle in a sport where, yes, you can tie. And I know people want to, it's kissing your sister and all that stuff. Listen, I think that ultimately both of these teams, they know they're through, to your point. They each have 4 points. They're essentially guaranteed to move on. It's just a function of who is going to win the group ultimately. And, maybe I would give a slight edge to Canada just based on home crowd support, playing this thing obviously in Canada. But outside of that, I think you're going to get a pretty evenly matched, compelling game in which both teams get on the board. I don't think it's going to be super low scoring. I mean, that could be 1-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2-2, somewhere in that range. And we get a draw. So, something to root for, obviously, in terms of just goal scoring and entertainment. But I think that I don't think either of these teams is going to be heavily motivated to outclass the other.
Yeah. Steph?
Yeah, I'm with you. I can see where we're both get on the board. I do think Canada has the better edge if I had to lean, and I think they have all the motivation to keep that home field advantage. They've really shown success there and can lead to a hostile environment. They've scored 7 goals in just 2 matches, including a big one in the win over Qatar. I also think that if there is going to be a tiebreaker, the lean also goes more in favor of Canada. They have picked up 0 red cards and fewer yellow cards than Switzerland, so that gives them a better tiebreaker advantage if need be. And then I think the home field advantage helps me push over the edge if I have to pick a side. They're really good at their shot conversion. They lead Group B in efficiency. They convert 28% of their total shots into goals, and that was over the first 2 matches. So I do think that they'll keep the motivation going. The draw would be what I'm concerned about, but just because of those key points, I would push a lean on Canada. But I do like the best play for me would be over 2.5 total goals. So that leaves some wiggle room for both teams.
Wow, over 2.5 goals. It's funny. I was just about to pull that up. So the yes for over 2.5 is plus 113. You see how it's clicked on the no right there? That's what I like in this game, Stephanie. I like the under 2.5 goals minus $1.37.
Love an under.
I do. It's disgusting.
I hate it.
Adam, they're slowly learning here at CalledIt that I am an under better, and everybody, gives me grief for it because it's terrible. It's not fun. It's completely right.
Generally more profitable, though.
Yeah, it's a lot
Really fun.
of times.
Never went head to head though, so I guess my favorite play in that game is to take the over. So yeah,
Hey, fair enough. But hey, the reason that I like the under here, and we know Stephanie likes the over. The reason I like the under, Adam, if you're playing toward the draw here, both teams are going to be playing very conservatively, right? Like Canada is completely content, just sitting back, not letting this get blown out of proportion, not risking anything injury-wise, red card-wise, yellow card, all of that. And they're already dealing with a little bit of an injury situation there with a couple of guys too. So I think it's going to be that slower type of secure, just calm game. And it could end 1-0 to where I do think it's worth taking the under 2.5 as opposed to the draw just for a little bit more security. That's me personally. I have no qualms with anybody taking the draw, but that would be my top trade in this game.
Yeah, you may be right. I kind of look at it from a different perspective, which takes me to the over, which is Canada, for all the different reasons that Steph already outlined, is a more prolific offensive team in this matchup. And I expect to see Canada convert and score a goal or 2, whatever it is, but where that could work against them or where we may see ultimately Switzerland keep up is what you just mentioned, all those defensive issues and injuries that Canada's dealing with. So, it could go one way offensively and they're getting breaks, they're getting opportunities, they're getting possession, they're getting chances, and then boom, here comes transition the other way, and you get an on-man rush, if you will, to, borrow from hockey, and you end up seeing a goal for the Swiss, and all of a sudden, we blink and we've got ourselves a 2-2 match by the end. And so that's the thing. I don't know that we're going to get the same kind of, again, prevent parking the bus sort of thing that we talked about with that match previously. I think that in this one, it may be a little more high flying.
Yeah, fair enough. And hey, I will say, when Steph and I have directly gone head to head, I think she's got like a 2-0 lead on me at least. So full disclosure for anybody out there.
is anyone here saying like it's going to be Canada or draw, or is anyone leaning on the Swiss side?
I'm okay with the double chance, but I've seen a lot of people chasing the Swiss, thinking that ultimately Switzerland could steal the win here. But I would, for my purposes, once I start throwing money around as the day moves along, I don't know that I'll go all in on Canada again. I've already outlined the draw case, so I will probably do the Canada or draw double chance.
Canada has not lost a competitive match on Canadian soil since 2019. They like it. I mean, they can. And honestly, off the field, we're hearing all this glory to America for being great hosts. They're saying Canada's a terrible host. So they like that.
They're such friendly people.
Possible.
Hey, maybe they got to make a statement today. Maybe this is their time. But the Swiss kind of do too if they really want to.
Beating them in hockey, so they're just bitter. They're not going to compete for the hosting duty.
Losing all their sports. They just lost Brady Kachuk. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, they're all over the place. That they are. Oh, all right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to be a fun one, too. Again, some statements on the draw. Stephanie liking the over. I'm liking the under. We've got all our bases covered, so plenty to look forward to in that match with Canada and Switzerland. Now, guys, we do have something we have to discuss here because, Stephanie, we know that you have adopted Scotland as your secondary nation. We know that Adam is a Bostonian himself, so there has been some headway with the Patriots, Robert Kraft, and the possibility for the New England Patriots to play a game over in Scotland. There's been a lot of interest here. I mean, I feel like, Adam, you could speak to it more than I can, of course, but, you guys are becoming like cousins over there. You guys are like adopted family members now with Scotland and all the Bostonians. So do you think there's actually some validity to this and you think it's going to come to fruition? I mean, they want to play a regular season game over there. We know the NFL is adopting the international scene. Could this actually happen, Adam?
Well, listen, Bostonians and the Tartan Army are good friends at this point in time, to the point where Boston, as a city, ran out of beer. So thank you to the Scots for coming in, drinking all the beer, all the liquor, and having yourselves a hell of a time. Bagpipes, kilts galore, invading Fenway Park, going to Gillette, Boston Stadium, if you will. Yes, absolutely, there is a relationship, and there is a chance that the Scots, who, of course, down in Miami now, could find their way back later in the tournament, although, I don't know, odds might be against that. We'll see. The thing with Robert Kraft, and yes, I don't know about headway. You mentioned headway, but a conversation, obviously, he has suggested the interest in kind of capitalizing on this, and Bostonians, all right, well, they came here, now we're going to go there. And New England playing the other football, an NFL game in Scotland, which has not yet hosted an NFL game. And as we know, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the league, has talked about continuing to grow the international series. We have a record, 9 different international games that are happening this coming season. In fact, I was looking earlier here. So we have got the NFL so far has hosted games in Brazil, Canada, England, Germany, Ireland, Mexico, Spain. This year, adding France and Australia. Again, no Scotland yet. Goodell has mentioned he would like a 16-game international series where every team in the league takes part at least once. So we could be trending in that direction. Now, I have no idea what, Scotland's capacity is to host an NFL game, but I presume that there is, obviously a good, reasonable way to do that. And so, yeah, absolutely. I think the seeds have been planted for New England to be that first team whenever that happens, whether it's next year, in a couple of years, I'm not sure.
Steph, would you be making a trip out there for that game or any NFL game if it went to Scotland?
I had to pull up some on my WhatsApp because they don't have the iMessage and everywhere else. WhatsApp. I did reach out to my new Scottish friends and asked them, I'm like, okay, would you be going to an NFL game in Scotland? They told me it would probably be at Murrayfield or Hampden, which are around 52,000 and 67,000, and they would sell them out for sure. They said they've sold them out for rugby, they've done it for football, they're football all the time. They would show up for NFL. They said, especially after the way Boston hosted them. I'm seeing reports of maybe there's going to be a baby boom of Scots in Boston because of the romance is happening. There's one girl who called into a radio station. She was saying, like, talking to the radio host, asking, okay, should I fly to Miami with this Scottish guy that I met 5 days ago? He's gonna buy me a flight. Like, should I go? And everyone's like, do it. It's like, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. Like, there is a full blown Scottish American movement, and for me to have been just in Scotland, to your point, and then I mean, I'm in Nashville where we haven't had a game here, but we've had them come in here in between. I mean, I posted a story. We also have tight end university happening right now. That's why I'm going. At the Scots, they're trying to run out the beer in on Broadway, but there's already been a little bit of a merge with NFL and with the Scots. So I mean, 100% make it happen. They would love to host them, and it sounds like they would certainly sell it out, and they would be rooting for the Patriots. And my guy Trevion Henderson I would love to watch him in Scotland. So
love Henderson, obviously. How many mid to late Boston women are going to have little Scottish babies in about 9-10 months? What do we think?
That's what they're asking.
I want to know more about the baby boom.
Yeah, that's what they're reporting. There's and honestly, I can attest to it because I was talking to them about the football soccer debate, and so while I couldn't win them over in that, I was like, well, go to a game, especially if it's Scotland. You're gonna be obsessed with American football. But they were trying to show us how chivalrous they are. They love to pick you up. Like every Scottish guy will just pick you up and just carry any woman. So they are very, very chivalrous. And the funny thing is that they could not figure out the air conditioning. That's why I know Miami's going to be very interesting for them when they get there, because it doesn't. They've never seen any temperature above like 60, mid 60s in Scotland. Like it just never gets warmer. I'm like, in America, like I mean, I grew up in Ohio. You may not even think of that state when you're in Scotland. I get every single season. It can be 98 degrees, and then it can be like we have a white Christmas. Like we get everything you can imagine. So they're learning a lot over here. They're obsessed with the free refills, and I've learned that. The air conditioning, they could not figure it out. They're like, because they use Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. So like they're gonna be in for a rude awakening out there in Miami.
All the Scots just walking around picking women up at random. Like Danny, what chivalry in Scotland is harassment in America.
Right, yeah. As long as you put on the jersey, I guess you can get away with it, right?
It's okay. I'm wearing a kilt.
Go without an ick, you guys. Because the Scots got Riz. Like soccer players, they got Riz. But the Scots crush it. Crush it. Like they clearly did in Boston. Like the baby boom in Boston.
The baby boom in Boston, that boom, and then obviously down in Mexico, the Koreans and Mexicans are saying there's going to be a baby boom with them too. It's been outstanding to see everybody meshing together. And like you said, the biggest challenge for the Scots now may be just the air conditioning might be tougher than facing the Brazilian team down in South Beach. Oh my goodness, it's
maybe once we get to the NFL, we'll actually pick up some chance because. They were, oh my gosh, you guys, they could make everything. They were singing the Hokey Pokey as a chant. I was like, what? Like, and like, this is what we did in like kindergarten. This is your chant. They're like, I'll send you guys the video. We'll put it on CalledIt. Like, you do the Hokey and turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. I'm like, that chant.
See, that is fantastic. The only thing it's missing is we haven't got Adam involved in a chant. Like Adam, you got to be reporting boots on the ground live at the pub. You should have been there, my friend. How are you missing out on this opportunity?
I mean, I wouldn't be able to see straight.
So is it really? Have you noticed the difference between when the Scots are there and then the English? Like, there's one chance.
Good question. I mean, the English definitely have not taken over in the same way that the Scots did, or even, seeing some of the Norway rowing up escalators and all of that. Like, it's just culturally, it has looked different for sure. But the Scots, they're a good time, right? They're a party.
Yeah, like we're calling it the Great American Sleepover. Like, can you guys stay? Like when you're
like, congrats, guys! A fraternity house is coming to your city.
God, stay, have a sleepover. Like, we want, like, please stay. I love it. Literally, we don't even have a game here, and there was tons of Scots on Broadway. They closed the bars down. Crazy.
It has been outstanding to watch everybody get together and can't wait for much more content. I know the Scots are going to be eager to get back to Boston, at least anecdotally speaking, from some of the videos I've seen where people have delayed their flights, saying they're going to hop right back up to Massachusetts. It's
That
been
is
just. Yeah, it's been great to see. So we'll have to get a Called It company trip out to Scotland for us here in the States
Now we're
to
talking.
repay, right? We're gonna have to do it somehow. So
when the NFL goes there, I'm 1,000,000% gonna go.
absolutely.
Without a doubt, I'm going.
Can't wait for the day. And of course, can't wait for all the results that we will have today from what we've dished out here on the record at Called It. Big shout out to Adam Kaufman at Adam M. Kaufman, where you can catch him on X. Stephanie Odie at Steph Odie, where you can follow her on the socials. Myself at Danny Burke 5. And for Called It _media is where you can catch them on the social media channels. And remember, you got to head to the website, www.calledit.media, because there you can sign up with just your email. It's completely free. You get a chance to qualify for some merchandise that we saw Adam repping: shirt, sweatshirt, polo, hats. You also get a hold of the daily newsletter where you get actionable information regarding the daily call and much more insight to help you out with your trades. Today's daily call, which is also a part of the run where we're looking to turn 250 into a million. It is Brazil to win by more than 1.5 goals against the aforementioned Scotland team. Now, it's going to ruffle some feathers here. We've got some Scotland fans, but hey, we are objective. We state our opinion and we put it on the record. And you can do just the same at the website to see how you stack up amongst the rest of the community. But folks, it's been a great show as always. Big shout out to all of you for tuning in. Again, big thanks to Adam and Stephanie. Make sure you head to Called It to get more info. But if you want to stick around for the show, hey, we'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Same schedule as always, except we got Joe Fatale, we've got Maya Campion, and myself as we talk plenty more World Cup. Until then, best of luck with your trades, and we will see you on the record.